Hello, and welcome back to S&B Monthly, Thurstea, Tomes and Tea. I'm your co-host, Bekk.
And I'm Stephanie.
What tea are you drinking today?
So today I am drinking. So remember how I told you last episode, sorry, not last week. I bought those two different, and one was cherry blossom, and I had that one last time. So this time I'm having the hot cinnamon tea. I said I was going to wait for the weather to get better, but
Get cooler.
But I mean, it was 103 and not 110. So anyways, I had to try it because it smells so good. So it's by Harney and Sons Fine Teas, and it's made with cinnamon and a lot of it. It's very strong. Cloves and orange peel. So it's funny because you guys were here recently, you and Jeff, and very briefly really quick backstory. Beck's from South Dakota, and when she goes home, she usually comes, her and Jeff, or just her if Jeff can't make it, they come here and fly to South Dakota because they can fly much cheaper from Mesa than anywhere in California, to where it's actually worth the drive. And I love it because I get to see them because I'm selfish, and it gives me a chance to see them again. And I get super excited. Like, we'll be there one day. I'm like, yes.
So get everything in.
So they were here, and I showed them the teas because we were talking about it. And Jeff smelled the cinnamon one, and he had to have it. And then I think Adam was going to make them. And then you were like, you'll have some too, and because it smells so amazing.
It was.
And Jeff was giving me all kinds of shit because I don't put milk in my tea.
Yes.
And
then he made me put the milk in his tea.
I remember that.
Yes.
He was in a mood. He was funky. He was spicy that day.
Mood.
I
don't
know.
Understand any, okay, I realize Tuba City is an inside joke, but I think it's an inside joke to even him because I don't know what it was about.
I think Jeff's very, I don't know, when he's out of his element. So like at your folks' house, that's not his safe space. You know how Jeff is. He likes his house. Even like when we come visit, it's like my house. That's just how he is. And I think like he had some, which I can relate, but I don't make jokes, but I can relate to where like you're out of your element and then you just have this, like, you're trying to like recharge and you're just being silly. I don't know. It was funny, but anyways,
he's goofy.
He was like giving me shit because I don't put milk in my tea. And as of now, I still have no milk in my tea, so I'm sorry, Jeff. I'm not ready.
You don't have milk in your tea?
I've never done that. I know that's like the fog, London fog. I haven't fogged my tea ever.
You've had a London, but not a London fog.
Yes. No, I've never put milk in my tea. It doesn't sound. It's probably good. It just doesn't sound great.
I will say that there's like probably like a weird milk and water doesn't seem like a great combo.
No,
but like coffee is just bean milk or bean water. Can you put milk in your beans?
But to me, coffee is like super strong.
Well, coffee is a lot more acidic too, so you almost need that like.
Yeah, but no, not yet. But maybe one day. I probably will one day. You do it.
I do.
And every time, like, you should try fantasy. No, I try it. I love it. You should try Milky to Treat. No, I'll probably try it, and I'll probably love it. So eventually, I'll have to do it.
Eventually.
What are you drinking right now?
So this is kind of another journey story that I apparently like to have when I'm making or getting tea.
I know, they're always fun.
As you know, Jeff and I, we really enjoy crumble cookies.
Mm-hmm.
We have a list of our ratings of every crumble cookie, and they have different cookies every week. This week they have s'mores cookies, which s'mores is like my top 5 favorite foods. I think it's like number 3. I don't remember the ranking, but it's up there. So I was like looking around trying to figure out what is a good pairing for s'mores cookies. And I guess like black tea is good. And there's Pete's Coffee right next to our crumble cookie because we walk to our crumble cookie. It's within walking distance.
Oh, okay.
So on the way back, I think it's called Assam Golden Tip Loose Leaf Tea. And it has sugar and steamed oat milk. As side note, when you live in California, you get judged for the milk that you drink. So if I were to say whole milk, they would have given me like
they would have clutched their pearls.
Yes. So I'm like, oat milk's fine.
Oh no, I've never had oat milk.
It's not terrible. But it's not. There's something about cow milk, man.
Yeah.
But I did my best.
Cows. But it's good?
It's pretty good, yeah. I also, coffee places close at 5, so I also microwaved it, which is probably against coffee rules.
It's okay. We're in America, so if we were in England, it would be blasphemous.
I also thought to myself, as I watched them make this, I'm like, they just put tea bags in hot water. I can put tea bags in hot water. Why did I need to come here?
Because it seemed fun, probably.
No.
How was that? How was the s'more cookie? Have you had it yet?
We had it. Good, not great. It was basically just a chocolate chip cookie with a marshmallow on top. So like, yeah, it's a 5. It's like, yeah, meh.
Yeah.
Jeff rated it a 3 because he said there's nothing special about it. I'm like, but did it taste okay? He's like, yeah. Like,
there was no graham.
So why would there was like graham crumbles? Like,
was the marshmallow like toasted?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, there's little black char, whatever. Yeah, it was so good.
Sounds good. I haven't had crumble.
I love crumble cookies. I
haven't had them.
It's fun to have something,
Yeah, for sure. We have one in Maricopa. It's not too far, but they're very expensive, and we're a family of 5. And
oh yeah,
I mean, I've seen them because you had them when you guys were here, and I seen that you can definitely cut them up. Like they're plenty big.
We quarter them.
Yeah.
We don't eat the whole cookie at once.
Yeah,
quarter it. We have like that special like cookie cutter.
So your number 1 is pancakes, right?
Pancakes is number 1. I get so much shit for this too. Number 2 is probably hot dogs. Love hot dogs. I'm like Phil Kessel. I love hot dogs. And then 3 is s'mores. I'm not sure what 4 is, but top 5 is definitely donuts.
Donuts.
Yeah.
So
you mentioned
I did. So I have a funny story about Bekk and donuts and what she will do and the lengths she will go to get donuts. So as all of us did, me, Jeff, and Bekk, and my brother Jake, when the military was done, we moved in with the parents and stayed with them until we can get our life together. So there was a very short, I think you guys were only there like 6 months while Jeff was going through the interview process and all that, right? It wasn't very long.
Yeah, 6 months.
Yeah. You and Jeff were staying with mom and dad here, and
over the summer, by the way. Ugh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The worst time to be here, and because winter would have been great, but I heard this story about Bekk can make herself cry.
I can
literally on cue, and I always like the first couple times it came up, I'm like, do it. But then I'm like, no, stop. Because it looks so real and it's so sad. Stop. I heard you sniff. Don't do it. We're talking. Stop sniffing. No, because it makes me sad. No, but so there's this donut place here called Bosa. I think it's only in Arizona. I'm not sure. They're really good though. They're really good donuts. And there's one not far down the street from my parents. And she wanted donuts, and Jeff was like, I'm not gonna go get them.
It was my birthday, by the way.
Oh, yeah. It was your birthday too. So she did her crying thing, and my mom saw it and was like, didn't know. Now, my mom wasn't aware that like Bekk can make herself cry.
Yeah.
So she just looks at Bekk and looks at Jeff, and I think you said something like, he won't buy me donuts. And she's like,
take me to get donuts, and I just want donuts for my birthday.
She was like, Jeff, take her to get donuts. Like, she was so upset. It was the funniest thing ever. Oh, she told me the story. I was dying, and then I heard it from you.
Yeah.
Jeff didn't think it was nearly as funny because he
doesn't. He hates when I do it. Obviously,
it is sad though because it looks real.
Oh yeah,
like
I've got your son to bring me tissues multiple times.
Yeah, I can't do that. I cannot make myself. I can think of like the saddest thing, and for some reason I can't cry on cue. Is that what you do? Do you like think of something sad, or can you just like force your eyes to just water?
So I think it's kind of like a catch-22 because even when I'm like really excited about something or I'm like really passionate and I talk about something, my eyes will water. So like,
oh yeah,
if I'm talking about like, I don't know, like, what was I talking to Jeff about the other day? I don't remember, but like he was like, "Why are you crying?" I'm like, "No, I'm just really excited."
that happens to me too. Yeah, and I cry real bad when I laugh. It's like,
oh yeah,
a flood. Like some people, I don't know what it is with me, but I always like, I mean, it's tears. It's the worst. But anyways, so what's your first topic?
Okay, so on the topic of me taking vacation, I did go on airplanes. And I noticed that there's a few people that were reading, and I was like, "Oh, nosy Becky, I need to know who or what they're reading. Like, I need to like, I want to see what they're. I want to check out what they're reading." So I looked around and I wrote down some of the books, and I want you to judge them, basically, based off of the description.
Okay.
So, the first lady that was right next to me was reading Fresh Water for Flowers. And this is the story of a Violet Toussaint. It's French, by the way. She is a caretaker at a cemetery in a small town in Bourgogne, France, traversing the grounds by unicycle. Eye roll. Tending to her many gardens and being present for the intimate, most humorous confidences of visitors. Violet's life follows the predictable rhythms of mourning. Mourning as in...
like Good Morning.
Yeah.
Alkali Trio. No.
You know. Yeah. But then Violet's routine is disrupted by the arrival of Julian Soule, the local police chief. Julian has come to scatter the ashes of his recently deceased mother on the gravesite of a complete stranger. It soon becomes clear that Julian's inexplicable gesture is intertwined with Violet's own complicated past. Would you read this?
No. The unicycle. Just, I mean, I'm like, why a unicycle? I don't know. I'm not going to read to find out. I'm sure there has to be a reason.
I'm sure there probably is.
Traversing the grounds of a cemetery by unicycle. And tending to her many gardens. This sounds boring.
Apparently it was very sad because she was crying.
Oof.
Yeah.
How old was she?
She was probably 70s.
Oh yeah.
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 So she is actually the one that gave me the idea, because as I'm reading Thornhedge with like fairy tales and knights and stuff, she's reading this depressing ass
in an
book.
airport.
Yeah. It's great. So no, I wouldn't.
No. Okay, what else do we got? Because it probably gets worse. I'm gonna pick which one. So I'm gonna pick. I haven't went through these yet, so I'm gonna pick the one. If I had to, I would. Oh yeah. I'll pick my favorite at the top. Okay, what's next?
Okay, so in true Rapid City, South Dakota fashion, Chicken Soup for the Soul, Kindness Matters, 101 feel-good stories of compassion and paying it forward.
Boy.
I think you're familiar with the Chicken Soup for the Soul type books. It's basically exactly the same format.
Yeah, I've never read them, but everybody knows about those, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So no, would not read personally.
No, I have never had a desire to read any of them.
I think when I was like a teenager, I was like, why am I the way that I am? Maybe I need to read.
Maybe I need some soup for my soul.
Yeah, and then I was like, actually,
no, I don't. But I've seen them and I've seen people read it. They're popular.
Oh yeah.
And there's tons, and I have no desire, because once there was a book that was really popular, not in a book talk. I have something in common with these people, but just a popular book in general, and everyone was reading it, and it was like wash your face or something was a famous line in it.
Oh yeah.
I went and bought it, and I am not a religious person, so this book was very,
Oh, just wait.
very religious, and I was like, you know what, this is not for me, and I was kind of sad I bought it. I was like, oh god, this is
I
not.
wasted money on this.
Yeah, I did feel like that, and then I didn't read for years until BookTok came along. So no, I would not.
All right, next one
No. Mm-hmm.
is Wild, From Lost to Found on the Pacific Crest Trail, Oprah's Book Club 2.0.
Oprah's
At
Book
22,
Club.
yeah, we love Oprah, don't we?
Yeah, she was in Hawaii, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but her house was fine.
Yeah, her house was fine.
Okay. Well, that's great. That's good.
And then, you know, this poor woman who wrote this book is probably also fine. But this is the true story. It's a memoir of a lady that decided to hike the trail that's from California to Oregon.
Yes.
It's the story of her hike on this, and you know, the whole coming of whatever myself story. I don't think I would read this. I don't do memoirs anyway, but like this, especially being an Oprah book, I would probably stay far, 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 far away.
Told with suspense and style, sparkling with warmth and humor. Ooh.
I wonder who wrote that for her.
I have no, I wouldn't do it either. I wouldn't read it. It sounds awful. These all sound awful.
They're all terrible.
What was the age of this human?
She was probably a human. It was a woman, and she was probably in like 40s, 50s. And she was I don't know how to explain this, but she looked very I don't know if this is going to come across to anybody, but she looked very Midwest, where like she had the blonde hair and the hiking, you know, clothing.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Okay. No,
so I'm also judging people by the way they look, apparently.
I mean, we all do it. Okay. we all do it.
So these next two are actually men were reading these books.
Oh.
So it was nice to see men reading, and also nice to see men trying to fix themselves. So the fourth one is Get Out of Your Mind and Into a New Life, The New Acceptance of Commitment Therapy. It is a self-help book about the scientifically based psychotherapy that takes a fresh look at why we suffer and even what it means to be mentally healthy. We love a man that is able to do some self-reflection, but
absolutely.
I don't know if self-help books are quite my jam either.
I mean, so for me, I like reading about, like it says, the psychotherapy and all that. Mm-hmm. I do like reading about that kind of stuff because, well, I don't have a degree, and you have a degree in it, so
I do have a degree in psychology.
You reading it, you'd be like, I know this, I'm like, I feel like I'm learning. Like I like to learn about. I think that shit's so interesting. But I'm more of a to read a whole book. No, an article, yes.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm more on for things when it comes to things like that.
Give me 5 points and why, kind of thing.
Yeah. I don't want to read a whole book. Like that's just me. But out of these four so far, I know there's another one. This is this is one I would read above the others for sure. So let's hear the last one.
The last one is Unafraid, Living with Courage and Hope in Uncertain Times. This was written by the senior pastor of a large, diverse church in America's heartland. Adam Hamilton has seen the cost of fear up close. When he surveyed his congregation of how fear affects them, 2,400 people responded, and what they said was eye-opening. 80% admitted to living with moderate to significant levels of fear. What's your first thoughts? Because I
wouldn't read it because it's gonna be read this
religious
passage. Yeah, I don't, and I am not against you. You do you, and I'm. Know, I used to have a thing where I was almost jealous of people who were religious because, like, I wish I had that, but I just don't, and I'm not gonna fake it, or I'm not gonna. Oh, I'm scared of hell, so I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that, and I just don't have the faith or whatever. But I'm not against it. It's just not my thing. And but I also don't like when it's shoved in your face, like religion, like so I'm not going to read a book. It's just, for me, and this doesn't sound nice, but for me, if it's just a big long religious book, because of how I personally am, I can't relate in any way, shape, or form. And like, oh, if I was going through this is what I'd read, and I'm going to be like, well, good for you, 'cause, it won't do anything for me. And I've read a lot of the Bible, and it's just not.
Yeah,
it's going to be a no.
It's a no for me, dog.
It's a no. I just don't want to like piss anyone off either, because that's not my intention. Like,
no,
I have a lot of family and stuff that's religious, and that's good for you, but I am not. So this would do nothing for me.
So my initial thoughts on this was the movie Donnie Darko. You said you've seen it? Do you remember much of it?
I remember I didn't quite understand what was happening. There's
so much. The whole time travel thing is kind of weird. I mean more the like there's I think it's Patrick Swayze. I don't remember what his name is actually in the movie, but he's like this motivational speaker.
Yes, I remember him.
And like his whole thing was about like you're a what is it? You're a prisoner of fear. Like that was his whole thing. So like reading this description, I'm like, oh my god. And he was like a very religious person too. So like, did we not fact check this first?
Yeah. That's kind of funny. I feel like this is an old man reading this one.
Surprisingly, it was a younger. He was like maybe my age. I know.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, good for him.
Well, yeah. Like,
what was he in South Dakota?
It was on the plane from South Dakota to Arizona.
Okay.
Which, that also is kind of like a very specific audience, I guess. Like, they are Midwest and Arizona. They do share similar ideals with, like, I don't know, personality, religion, even political views. So this isn't like too much like I expected. I expected more from people, but
right. So when we're going on a trip next fall, me and you and and Belen. So
and possibly Belen. Yeah,
we're gonna have to come back to revisit this topic. We're gonna have to write down some books we see, and then we can talk about.
Yeah, I think
reading.
I think it's so that's interesting.
That's cross country, so we'll be able to see all kinds of good stuff, I'm sure.
And we're all gonna be reading the same book.
Yeah, that's gonna be so fun. I'm so excited. It's like excited. A whole year, over a year, and I'm like, yes.
Yeah, we should probably start like doing some of the research on that.
But... Yeah, we should, but it's gonna be great.
Oh yeah,
because we don't need like things to entertain. We have reading.
Exactly.
And it's going to be just so amazing.
So, apple cider donuts. Come on.
Donuts. Pancakes.
Pancakes.
Hot dogs.
Pumpkin. Hot dogs and s'mores are my summer foods. And then donuts. Pancakes are like a fall food.
I like hot dogs though.
Yeah. I know. I get so much shit, but like,
do you ever make them? Okay, so this is something I do once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever wrap them in, like you buy the croissant?
You mean pigs in a blanket?
Yeah, but pigs are usually little guys, right? Like the whole pig, the whole hot dog,
the whole hog,
and you and you roll them up in the croissant like a big one.
Croissant.
And then you, sometimes we put a little cheese in there. It's amazing. My kids, well, Tanner doesn't eat shit, but my girls love it. Adam likes it, and it's nice because we like regular hot dogs, but once in a while, and they're cheap, so I mean, we eat them often. But once in a while, it's nice to have them like just something like have them a little bit different, And when my kids were little, they liked them. When my kids were little, they loved them in mac and cheese. They're not really into that anymore. I'm still into that.
I fucking love hot dogs and mac and cheese.
It's so good. It's so
this
good.
Combo.
Oh man. Anyways, I'm thinking about it.
I know.
Anyways. Okay. All right, cool. So yeah, out of those books, I would read I guess to get out of your mind and into your life, because the other ones were just so much no.
Yeah.
That's the only one I could probably like get
I
through.
think yeah, I think I would probably read that one too. Like I've read like The Body Keeps the Score and all of those fun things, so because I had to. But
yeah,
like I'm not like I've never heard of acceptance and commitment therapy, so
yeah,
it's like a new.
But that is cool. He's now. Did he look older or younger?
He was probably like in his 40s.
Oh, well, good for him.
Well, yeah, and
I do respect.
They were next to their wives too, so maybe like there was something.
You need to read this. Yeah, could be. But no, yeah, that's the only one out of those for me.
So I don't have any announcements this week, so we can just go on to how was Orcs Prey?
So it's a trilogy of one for me because I will not be reading the others. In the beginning, I will say I was freaking laughing.
Well, that was the whole point. Is that I wanted something that was so bad that
it was the same thing over and over and over and over. And I'm like, okay, can we not? And then she giggles a lot. I'll tell you that. She giggled and then she giggled and then she giggled some more. And then he made her giggle and everyone makes her giggle and she giggles every page, which was really annoying. I will give you some fun facts about this book, though.
Yeah, sure.
The orc has 2 penises. He has a large one and a small one. And they are perfectly...
Wait. Are they stacked or...
They're stacked.
Oh, okay.
They're perfectly positioned for the human female anatomy, if you know, the smaller one.
Yeah.
It's above the larger one. So, you know, like those TikToks and reels or whatever, when they're like, with this person, it's like usually fictional characters find the spot on a woman, like where they find it. Well, he knows where it's at because his
junk does.
He has a little helper. So down there, and they can also breed. So she gets pregnant with
I hate
a human orc baby, and it's so bad. It was occasionally funny though. I mean, there are sometimes it's just so you're just reading it like, oh my god, this is fucking stupid, but you're laughing because
yeah, that's the whole thing.
Yeah. 10 out of 10 would not recommend. So
would. Opposite, that. -10.
I mean, if you want to read about an orc with two penises, have at it. Not worth it though. It's so bad. But you were so sweet. It gave me a book less than 100 pages, and I am not. So this is the segue into how I gave you a obnoxiously long, corny novel to read, and I am so sorry. So
that's all right.
How was it?
So you gave me Wolf Cursed, a slow burn enemies to lovers romance by Robin Bursman. Did love the cover. It was a great cover. Loves the wolf and the moon and the stars. Great. 10 out of 10. Wolves are my favorite animal. However, I was very confused by multiple things. Like, it made no sense. Like, the witches are like oppressed by the werewolves the entire time, and then she like develops this like super cool relationship within like 2 days with them.
Of course. Oh yeah.
And then like, but then she's also so like defiant. Like she tries to. Oh, sorry. Should probably mention that like she's charged of murder, or like they assume or think that she did this murder of these 3 people. So she has to stay at the Alpha's house while they're trying to investigate, so they can make sure that it's not her. So like as she's like confined in this space, she like develops like this like banter with some of the wolves. So like, why? And then she tries to escape. So I'm like, what?
Oh my god!
What are we thinking here?
How rude! Remember the description?
That
it said rude.
Actually, I keep a lot of the time when I'm reading Kindle books, I highlight or note because I just want to be able to go back to it
Yeah.
because it's ridiculous. And okay, some of my highlights for this book. Where is it? She actually did say rude. Like 13% in, it's rude with an exclamation point. The only sentence in that paragraph is just rude. Oh my god.
Oh.
So not only is it part of the
Wow.
description, but it's actually in the book.
Oh.
Yeah. So then and then like I feel like all the conflict that happened in the entire book could have been like resolved in like an email. Like had they just like oh, by the way, sorry about this. This is what actually happened. Then they wouldn't have been yeah.
So it had to have been boring to be that long.
It was pretty boring, and then
there
wasn't really a whole lot of like action like in your book. It seems like they actually can't do it for a specific reason. So like they get close, but they can't do it. So that was frustrating because I'm like, dude, the whole point of reading these bad books is that I get to read some of that.
Yeah.
And then like she'll like moan over food. I don't know about you, but I've never actually like, enjoyed food that much.
A hot dog?
No, dude. I love hot dogs, but I'm not gonna moan over that.
No, I've never moaned.
So yeah.
What did she moan over? Do you remember what treat it was?
So the alpha, which she calls him like literally all the fucking time. Like every description, like it's not his. I don't even remember what his name is, but every time she like mentions him, even like not even speaking to him, just like in the description of the passages.
Oh god.
Like, Alpha said. So Alpha is actually a cook. He likes to cook for his pack. So everything he makes is just, I guess, orgasmic.
Moan worthy.
Yeah, moan worthy.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty bad.
It was pretty bad.
Today I'm going to be talking about songs and artists that make us booktok girls absolutely feral, right? Because that's a thing with us. Yeah. So if you're part of the booktok community, there's a trend when so what you do is you make like a book aesthetic. So you'll read the book and then you put together, it's almost like a trailer for the book, and it's just visuals. It's just like pictures of things. And I find mine off of Pinterest. Me and Bekk make these often, especially if we like a book, we'll make them because they're fun. And then you put a song to it. And these are very popular. Like if you have TikTok and you're curious about like, oh, I don't know, you can usually 9 times out of 10 type in the book title and aesthetic and like you'll get videos. So it's pretty fun. So you'll see that a lot of the songs used are you how do I say it? Particular songs are used to show aesthetics of books, and you'll hear kind of the same song because there's just certain artists and certain songs that just do it for us readers with the words and the emotion and that boost of serotonin that we all need. So first I'm going to talk about Hosier. So I think we can all agree that his words speak to our innermost soul. It's romantic. It's dark, just like our books.
Yeah.
It speaks to us. His voice, his emotion. It's very raw, and I just love. I love all his songs, and I haven't known about him very long. But I've already used his songs twice, and it fits. Like I don't just put a random song that's popular. Like it fits. So I'm like, I gotta use it. And it's just everything about him. Just it's every booktok girl like loves him. It's so much. So you've been a fan like way longer than I have. So why do you think we love him so much?
Yeah. So aside, like, I don't even just like him because of TikTok or anything. Like, I've liked him for
No, I know.
Quite a while. I think he's probably like the top favorite lyricist. Like the way that he writes and like puts things to words is very poetic, and like there's a lot of symbolism. Like some of his songs are like draw on like the religious trauma or like on Greek mythology, or like his most recent one, Unreal on Earth, is like it's kind of like a symbolism for the 9 layers of hell, which I think is genius.
Right.
He's very clever, and then he does like the cozy horror almost in, because I read a lot of cozy horror books, but he kind of does it in like a music way, I guess.
Yeah.
But like in a week, it will come back like real people do. He writes almost like some of the male main characters that I love the most. The obsessive, will do anything for his girl. Like, it's just so in love type of feeling. And I think that goes along very well with some of the books that we read as well.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God. Like, the lay me gently in the cold, dark earth. No grave can pull my body down. I'll crawl home to her. Come on, dude.
Oh,
so
I know
good.
it. I know it. I watched an interview with him. It was so funny because he's
so cute.
They were talking about him, like how all these girls just like, because his lyrics, they're just fucking beautiful and deep, and you're just like, oh God, I wish
I want to be loved like that, you know?
Yeah, he's like, you should talk to some of my ex-girlfriends. They probably wouldn't say the same thing. I was laughing, but like,
sure.
I mean, just those lyrics are just, God damn it, like, just beautiful. They're
like soul crushing almost.
Yeah, and then you just, it's kind of like you know, you read these books and then you listen to these songs and it gives you this like is that how it's supposed to be,
right?
Like and I think for 99% people it's not, but I'm like, if you could just listen and read and then just kind of,
you know what my husband does when I'm listening to Hozier? He starts singing like the Lucky Charms.
That's fucked up.
It's so silly.
That's so
like, dude, if you would just listen to it, you would understand. Like,
yeah,
the lyrics are just so good.
They
like
are.
Top lyricists of like all time almost. And then he just, but I mean, Hozier was also born on St. Patrick's Day, so
there it is.
He is the most Irish man.
Yeah. Tanner, my son, who's 8, like loves his music, so maybe we're raising him right. Maybe
there you go.
Maybe he'll have
understand.
that little. Yeah, because just I mean, romantic but dark romance. Weird that I like his music, right. But yeah, like I just
I will say that, like, so he kind of edges on the like fantasy, whereas like something like Sleep Token or Bad Omens is kind of the dark romance,
right?
So
right, yeah. Well, like I used that one book. It was dark romance. It was had a lot of religious trauma, so I used the Take Me to Church song. It just fucking fit. Like, I'm like, this is good. And then for a fantasy book, I used another one of his songs. So yeah. And actually, Sleep Token and Bad Omens are next. I was going to talk about. So, well, I mean, Sleep Token for me, it's a masked man who can go from metal to funk. So, I mean, that's lovely.
Yeah.
If you haven't listened to Sleep Token, he's pretty amazing. There's so many twists and turns in their songs, but and I know damn well I am at least 15 years older than most of their fan base, but I can't help it. I like the songs and the sound is so good, and the transitions and twists and turns. It does remind me of some of the books I read. I mean, there's the popular songs that you hear on TikTok, but all of their music is just really good. I like his voice. Some people make fun of his voice. I personally love it. So they say it sounds like he has peanut butter stuck to the roof of his mouth, which kind of makes me laugh. But I'm like, well, then don't listen to him. He's for me. He's mine with his. I don't even know what he looks like. Don't care.
No,
he has
and
a mask.
I don't want to.
You know, no, I don't want to ever know. Like, you can look it up. I'm sure. I won't dare do it. I don't want to know. You keep that on. Because it's
don't need to see that. That's your business.
and I want to hear your music. And I like when, you know, that's what they're about.
Mhm.
Like, don't worry about what we look like. Like,
I do like Sleep Token. I think they're about the only metal band that I can actually listen to.
Yeah, well, their whole story is so cool because they sing about this god that he met named Sleep when he was dreaming, and it's pretty much an entire every album they've had. I think this is maybe the second. I'm not positive. I'm not that into him yet, but it's a story about this god, and they call like when you go to their concerts, they call it worship, and then they call their songs offerings. And I just like the whole thing. I think it's fun.
I think that's really fun too.
I like their whole like vibe, and
aesthetic.
but them and then Bad Omens is just sing sexy songs. Like
yeah.
I mean,
They know what
he
they're
sings,
doing.
and he has a good voice, and he's a good looking guy. He's young, but he's cute. You know, he's very good looking, and they just their romantic lyrics are very dark romance 100%. Like it's not as poetic as Hosier is, and Bad Omens I would say is more of the romance, because Sleep Token, although you can like apply some of the songs to romantic elements, it's not that's not really what he's singing about if you know the whole story, blah blah blah. But you know, you could take any song and
make it context.
What I get from a song, you may not. So you know, there's that too. Like I know their songs aren't meant to be about that, is what I'm getting at, because some people are very passionate fans and they're like, that's not.
How dare you?
I know, like stop. I can take it however I want. Right. So that's the kind of the point. But so yeah, I like their songs, and most of these songs, like I said, would be applied to dark romance. And that's a lot of what I read. And you could also apply it to some romantasy, because the fantasy romance I read tends to be pretty dark.
Yeah, on the darker spectrum.
Yeah. So I was going to say, not necessarily like a feral song or artist, but just for reading in general, I love video game soundtracks.
Yeah.
So one thing when I'm reading, sometimes I can't play music with lyrics because I will sing along and then I won't be paying attention, and then you know, I just can't do both. I'm one thing at a time with my brain kind of girl. But I love music. I love music so much. So I was like, I used to listen to video game soundtracks when studying for different courses I had to take when I was in the military. So I got stuck on the Skyrim soundtrack. It is my absolute favorite. I think it's incredible. And sometimes when I'm reading, I'll put on like video game, like the Skyrim soundtrack, because I think it's very atmospheric. So it's especially while reading fantasy, it's really good. It almost like it fits, you know, it's really cool. So I think that, you know, music in general and reading for me do go hand in hand. I mean, that's why we pick out songs when we do these little what do you call them, little aesthetic TikTok videos and stuff. But have you ever done that? Like what have you ever listened to game soundtracks while you're reading, or do you not do that?
Yeah, I do. So I have a few. Skyrim is a great one for like
I love it.
Reading like fantasy novels. So is like the World of Warcraft. Specifically like the tavern music is really great.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, I've listened to Jeff and Jake.
On
to that. Yeah. It's pretty good.
And then like if I'm reading like a spooky, like something like the Silent Hill soundtrack is really good too.
Yeah.
Love Silent Hill soundtrack. But like when I was in college and stuff, and I was like, you know, studying or writing papers or whatever, I would I use this video game. I guess so it does fit. It's a video game, but it's called Virtual Cottage, and it actually just plays lo-fi, and it gives you like a timer. And the more you play it, the more like things you get in this like little cottage room thing.
Oh, so, that's cool.
Yeah, I also use it while I'm editing the podcast because I want something like I want to be listening to something, but I don't necessarily want like something that's going to interfere with.
Yeah, to me, silence is so uncomfortable. I hate it. I have a fan when I sleep. Like I can't stand silence.
I have two fans. I have brown
I have
noise.
to have a fan, to the point where like we have gone to like we're going somewhere and I bring one because I have such a hard time sleeping. Now sometimes hotels will have a really loud like the little fan or the fan in the bathroom.
Oh yeah.
And I'll turn that shit right on because I can't.
Oh yeah.
I hate. I don't know. I just
I'm
don't
very
like sounds.
particular about my sleeping too.
Even at home, like if I'm doing dishes or doing laundry, I don't watch a whole lot of TV, but our TV is always on because I'm either have The Office, because The Office is just the best background show of all time.
Oh yeah.
So that's on a lot in my house. Or I'll have the lo-fi like girl with the cat. Yeah, that on a lot. And we put it's to the point where like I feel like my dog hates silence because when we go somewhere I have to put on music for him. I'm like, I'm gonna put on music for you before we leave, because
your mom and dad used to do that with Milo too.
They have a dad still does it for Milo. They have a YouTube. There's a YouTube channel that's like for animals that get stressed. It's like calming music for animals. Oh, I love it. And Bowie's not a stressed out dog by any stretch of the mind. He don't care. But I feel like bad, like leaving him here in silence. Like I'll put on some tunes because I would want some tunes.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
So yeah, I put on, and we've been doing that for years. So yeah, and it's funny because my parents, same thing. Yeah. So it's pretty funny. But yeah. So were you going to say anything else about the soundtracks, the game?
No, I think, yeah, basically I just listen. Well, I guess Stardew Valley is a good soundtrack for.
Yeah, that is a good one.
The background too, because it's not anything that's like scarier. It's just calm. Yeah, it makes you smile.
It
does. I love Stardew Valley so much.
Yeah, I do too.
Best
I
game.
haven't played it. I need to get back on that because I haven't played it in forever. And as I was saying, like a lot of the songs you will hear in these are recycles and like are recycled. Yeah. And I understand that. I've recycled some of them myself. Not like using the same song, but using songs that you hear over and over because they just fit.
Well, and so it's part of the TikTok algorithm too, you know, like
yeah.
Unfortunately,
sure.
I have to choose these songs because
yeah, you want people to like
see
it. Yeah. So I have chosen a few songs that aren't as popular or all over booktok. Jesus, I can't talk. All over booktok. Anyways, such as Solitude by M83. This song, okay, I have it. I really like it, but it's really creepy and it just brings a sense of dread and it goes so good with horror books. So I used it for The Troop, and it is perfect. Every time this song comes on, because I have it on my like Spotify or whatever, and whenever it comes on, I think of the book. Like it fits to me just perfectly. Like if The Troop is like one of those books that I would love for them to make a movie because I really do think it would be excellent. Some books I read and it's a great book, but could it be done in a movie? Probably not, or it'll be corny or it'll be stupid. And I want to keep it something as it is. Yeah, but The Troop I think could be done. I don't know, but that song would have to be in it at some point because it is just it fits perfect. And then I've used like Rosemary by the Deftones. That's my favorite Deftones song, so I really like it. And then recently I used Tear You Apart by She Wants Revenge, and it worked with the book. So I love that, like, because you want to just match energies. You know, we're almost like the book picked the song, you didn't, right? You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I like. So again, I've used other people and artists and songs here and there as far as music goes that I feel matches the books that I really love. So who are some artists or some songs in particular that you think deserve more booktok love?
Yeah. So I think with lyricism, I don't even know if that's a real word, but I'm going to use it.
It sounds good.
I think the Gaslight Anthem is one of the best lyric-wise artists out there. And I'm not just saying that because they're like one of my favorite bands, but they're just the way they do like Americana poetry is really great, and I feel like it would do well with plenty of books.
Yeah.
And then I was gonna go off on a tangent, but like, like even like romance books, right? Because he does sing a lot about love and all those fun things, like especially like handwritten. I think that would go really well with like maybe like a contemporary romance or like a Americana romance. I also really like City and Color. I think he's probably like my second favorite artist of all time. City and Color is Dallas Green. That's why it's a city and a color. His name is a city and a color.
Yeah.
His voice is like top notch for me, and like his lyrics are so well done. Maybe that's just because I really like him. I think he needs more attention, but even his lyrics are just beautiful. So I feel like they would go well. Do you listen to City and Color at all?
I've never heard of him.
Really?
Mm-mm.
Do you know Alex is on Fire?
Yes, I do.
He's the lead singer of that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe I'll maybe one of our upcoming TikToks I'll put a City and Color song on it and you'll go, oh. We should you know what we should do? We should combine and make a playlist, a Spotify playlist. We should.
That would be super fun because I think like Alkaline Trio would go good, Brand New would go good. There's like a lot of things that like I think not like super early Taking Back Sunday, but Taking Back Sunday as they are now, where they talk about like grown up love more, not like teenage love. It's like divorce and like what it means to have a house and all of that. I think is could do very well too. We should do that. We should make a combined like an S&B Spotify playlist. That would be super fun.
We should. Okay. Yeah, we'll start that.
Remember that down. Yeah, that's awesome. No, so yeah, I think Alkaline Trio I think is another. I mean, you love them, I love them, we love them. But,
I have a tattoo of them.
That's actually how me and my husband started talking. Is we were at a tangent, but we were at a fundraiser for our squadron, and I was playing music out of my car and loud, and while we were washing other cars. But anyways, I didn't really know him very well. I had met him a couple times. That was it, 'cause he was new. And he's like, whose music is this? And I'm waiting. I'm like, oh, it's mine. Like,
it was me.
Say something. Yeah. And he goes, oh, you like Alkaline Trio? And I'm like,
yes.
I love Alkaline Trio. You know who they are? Like, because surprisingly enough, a lot of people like didn't really know them. And he did. So that's actually what got us. And then we like hung out for the rest of the day. Now we're married almost 14 years later. So yeah, it's kind of crazy, but I love Alkaline Trio. Their lyrics are really good. Sad.
Oh,
but
yeah. The whole album that they have about serial killers is really interesting too.
Yeah, that one has an actual recording of Sadie. Yeah, which is just it's such a good song too. But
and there's so
Alkaline Trio is great.
Little, oh my god. I'm gonna get in a tangent, but there's so many little clever lines that Alkaline Trio uses.
I love all of my favorite singers have stolen all of my best lines or whatever.
Oh yeah.
That's a good one. Oh, I love everything.
What is mine? It's like,
I mean, even Good Morning.
Oh yeah.
I mean, even that.
You mentioned it earlier.
Yeah, I did. Now I'm thinking about that.
You know, it's funny though, because I think Jeff and I started talking because of the Gaslight Anthem. Well, we didn't start talking because of it. We were drunk and he bought me a drink, but then like we started talking to each other, and he's like, "You know who the Gaslight Anthem is?" I'm like, "Yeah, duh, they're great."
Will you marry me?
Actually, have you ever heard the story of the first night we met?
I heard you like he said something, and you said like you told him to buy you a drink or something.
That was my thing when I was 21. It was like, I'm cute, you should buy me a drink. That was my pickup line every time. But a couple of like drinks in, we started to convince the people around us that we were getting married the next weekend.
Oh my god.
So you saying, will you marry me?
That's kind of funny.
It's really funny because
hilarious.
We got like free shots, free drinks. There's a girl that was like, oh my god, you should wear my wedding dress. I'm like, if I'm getting married next weekend, I'm probably not gonna wear your, like, I probably already have it. Just saying. But
Yeah, that is so funny. You guys had a lot of fun dates when you guys were young love.
I want to say like 2 weeks later is Jeff's birthday, and we went to Chili's, and the the waitress was like, "Oh, how was the wedding?"
Oh shit!
And my dad and mom were the ones that took Jeff for his birthday, and my dad just looks at me. I'm like, "No, I will tell you later.
Not now.
We're not married. I promise."
That's hilarious.
It was great.
I did not know about that.
Did you not?
That's funny. No, I love it though.
It was great.
That sounds very you and Jeff. Like I love it. I love you guys. You guys are funny.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's so cute. Yeah, no, I didn't know that. So that's
you really didn't? Hilarious. Oh, that's my favorite.
No, I just knew you that I'm cute. You should buy me a drink or whatever. I knew about that. But that's kind of all I knew about. And then I heard that you guys went on some like funny dates and stuff.
Yeah, we did the Grand Theft Cart where you try to take something out of somebody's cart at like Walmart.
Yeah. I
was explaining to like one of my little cousins because we went on the date and then we went on, my cousin and I, we went on a trip to actually see Alkaline Trio. And I was explaining to her like, yeah, our first date was to Walmart, and she's like, Walmart? Like, yeah.
Yeah, but listen.
We were stealing things out of people's cart to see if they would notice.
That's funny. That's hilarious.
So stupid.
I love it.
Yeah, he's great.
Or you could sneak things into people's
We
carts.
did that later.
That's a fun one too. Yeah, that's a good one.
The one poor old man, we put like hot dogs and preparation H and something else in there. And like you have to follow them because you have to see like their reaction
when they're putting it on. Like, I did not get this.
So he just looks at
That's
it,
hilarious.
is confused, and then like puts it with the
buy
candy.
It?
No.
Yeah. The little things, little shelves of candy on the side. Mm-hmm. That's hilarious.
It was great.
Oh my god. Yeah, that is pretty good. Oh, that's funny. I like that. That's cute.
It's so stupid. Now we just sit in the house and do nothing.
Oh, same. Girl, same. He plays games. Today he literally played games all day. But anyways, yeah, music and reading I think do go
there's
hand in hand. It's awesome.
Both
it's
poetry,
art.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I thought that would be a fun little segment. And if anyone has any like recommendations of songs or like I read this and I've and
we can put
thought
it on
of a song that went well with it, heck yeah, let us know.
We'll put it on there.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you want to tell everybody what you're reading currently?
Oh, yep, I'm reading Savage Bonds, so it's book 2 of the Tie That Bonds, I think that's what it's called, series. One was Broken Bond and now I'm reading Savage Bonds. It's a fantasy, romance, academia, all the things. It's I won't say what I read last, but compared to that, we will get into that in our next episode of S&B Monthly. It's funny because I thought this book, well, I still think it's good. It's not great. It's good.
Not great.
But after reading the last thing I read, I'm like, oh, this is like amazing piece of literature because the last book I read was not the best. So it just wasn't for me. But yeah, I'm on book 2 of I think there's 5. 4 or 5, I'm not sure. I'd have to look to I don't know off the top of my head. But it's pretty good. I'm interested. I want to know what happens. I'm reading book 2, so there's that. I'm not like crazy about it, but I do like it enough to continue. Put it that way. All right. What are you reading?
So I'm kind of in between 2 currently, because I do have a full-time job. I do try to like listen to audiobooks every once in a while. So I am listening to the Inheritance games, and that is a recommendation from my nephew, Christian. So,
I see him a lot.
Yeah, that's Christian.
Yeah, what's up, Christian? I don't know him, but he likes my things, so I like him.
I think you would like him regardless. He's a pretty cool kid. I guess he's not a kid. Like, I can't say that. He's currently in college, so like...
He's a kid to you. He's a kid to me.
I think anybody under 25 is a kid.
Oh, same.
Yeah.
Same.
And then
Absolutely.
I'm also reading A Starkview. But did you have anything else? You see how quickly I...
Yeah, we will get into that next. I can't wait. Okay, so she hasn't finished it yet. I can't wait to talk
I have
about
like
it.
20 more minutes left, and I had to like vacuum.
Priorities.
Yeah.
No, I don't have anything else.
Well, thank you all for listening to us today. Be sure to check us out on our socials, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Any of the books that we discussed will be on our website, and sign up for our newsletter if you want to stay up to date with our releases.
That's all for today. I'm your co-host, Stephanie.
And I'm Bekk.
And this has been S&B Thurstea. See you in the next chapter.